there, and welcome to this week's edition of Couch Conversations. I'm Simon.
And I'm Xene.
Why don't you go and grab yourselves a cuppa and join us on the couch here as we discuss this week's topic, which is...
We're going to talk on control in domestic violence.
Wow. Has someone sent that question in for us?
Yeah, so I'll tell you what the question is. The question is, I wasn't hit in my last relationship, but he controlled everything that I did. And for some reason, I feared him. Is this classed as abuse? It's an interesting question, and it's a question that's quite often brought up in our seminars and our workshops and other situations that we find ourselves in. People are really worried that because they haven't got physical bruises, can that still be classed as abuse? And the simple and short answer is absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Yes, it is. Control is a form of abuse. Anything that takes away from you as a person is classed as abuse.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So coming from a man's perspective, when someone would say, would that be classed as abuse, I would absolutely agree with you. I mean, it's the reality of men-women relationships is that the respect should be number one, shouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. A healthy relationship, you see the respect on both sides.
Yeah, it's reciprocal, isn't it?
That you both realise that the other person has needs as much as you.
Yeah.
And ultimately, control comes down to selfishness. Ultimately.
Yeah.
They need, the person who's in control needs to be in control because it fills their self-esteem. It makes them feel powerful. It makes them feel like they're being looked after, but they take no regard for the other person.
So let me ask you this. The question was, is it control? Is it abuse?
Yeah.
So the question was asked by, was it a man or a woman that asked that question?
It was a woman because I know them personally.
Okay, so if conversely, if that was a man asking that question, or someone in a same-sex relationship, well, what would be the answer?
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's simple.
Yeah.
It's simple. No one should be able to take control from you.
Yeah.
From your
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. If it's been taken from you, then it is abuse.
Absolutely. And the thing is, statistics here in Australia, as far as domestic violence are concerned, are pretty horrific, aren't they?
Yes, they are, yeah. So 1 woman a week and 1 man a month are killed through domestic violence.
Killed?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it is quite high.
Well, it's unacceptable, isn't it?
It really is,
Yeah.
yeah. And coming from someone who's been in that kind of relationship where it was mostly control.
So you say that you've been in that kind of a relationship. You might want to clarify that because it wasn't me.
No, it wasn't.
So
So before I met Simon, I was in a 15-year domestic violent marriage, and primarily it was control. There was some sexual abuse and other abuse involved in it too, but it was primarily a control.
Well, one thing I remember you saying, and we'll briefly touch on your book in a second, that you wrote your story called Broken to be Beautiful.
Yeah.
One of the things I remember when you were going through the final editing of that book was that at the time, whilst you were in that domestic violence marriage, you weren't actually aware that you were in domestic violence marriage.
Not really.
Yeah.
There were times I felt abused,
Yeah.
but I just thought that was normal. I thought that was being part of a normal relationship.
Right.
Not, everybody would have to be part of that relationship. And it wasn't really until I married you and a long time within the relationship, really, when I realised, wait a second, you take my feelings into consideration, you want my opinion, you respect me, and you want to know what I think about
Which should be a normal, healthy, loving relationship, shouldn't it? And anything that's sort of outside those bounds tends to sort of start leaning towards the other end, doesn't it?
It does,
yeah. So the interesting thing that I found, listening to your story as we started developing our relationship before we were married, and as we were married in the first few years of our marriage, was just how different that relationship was to the one that we have.
Oh, yeah, it's so different. I mean, I know just from our personal experience, I would remember just phoning you up to buy something really simple,
Yeah.
just in case you didn't want me to.
Mm.
And you'd be like, why are you asking me? It's your money too.
Yeah.
But for me, because I've come out of a relationship with financial control as well as everything else, I felt bad to...
Okay, so you just mentioned their financial control.
Yeah.
So what are some of the characteristics of control? You've got financial control, so what else is there, do you think?
There's emotional control,
Yeah.
there's physical control, obviously. There is...
Sexual?
Well, that is a different type of... That's an abuse.
Yeah.
Which I suppose there is controlling elements in that.
I would think there would be.
There is a lot of controlling elements.
Yeah.
You know, I think really, you know, it all comes down to coercive control. And I have actually just written a blog, and you can find it on my website.
Well, we'll put a link. In the description box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To that, which talks about coercive control in it, and
Does it give some tips to prospective people that might, not even realise that they're actually in an abusive relationship?
yeah. So it's just some things to look out for in a relationship. I'll get it up actually.
Well, while you're doing that, one of the things that I've sort of found since we've been on this journey with your Broken to Be Beautiful book and the charity that we run at the Ark, is that so many people that we come across have actually said, I just thought this was normal. I just thought this was how people actually relate to one another. What would you say to that?
It's a very common statement, really.
Yeah.
That people think that this is an.
But it's an unacceptable one, isn't it?
Absolutely, it is unacceptable. And there are red flags, and this is what my blog is called, Red Flags for Coercive Control.
Yeah.
And I've just given like a few little red flags. One is they portray an air of, I know more than you.
Mm.
Trust me, I'm the one that knows here. You don't know. Bless you.
Yeah.
You poor thing. Patting on the head
Yeah.
kind of thing. It's a way of demeaning you, and you don't even realise it's happening. And I know professional people who have been, they're really clever, professional people, smart people, who all of a sudden find themselves in that kind of relationship, and they're like, how did this even happen? I'm a smart person. I shouldn't be feeling like this.
So what else is there?
They make you feel as if they can't live without you.
Mm.
So that kind of control where they say, if you leave me, I will kill myself.
And again, lots of people, we've come across would say, well, this is purely coming from a woman's perspective. It's really not, is it? This is not a...
This is a human perspective.
Yeah.
This is... It doesn't matter if you're male or female. Abuse is abuse.
Yeah, good.
And I know there are more women that are abused. Okay, that's
a given.
That's a given,
yeah.
and it really is, and it needs to stop.
Absolutely.
But on the flip side, there is women that abuse men as well.
Oh, totally.
And,
absolutely. And we know plenty of men that have been and are in abusive relationships.
I can remember growing up, people saying, oh, we know who wears the pants in that household.
Yeah, right.
And
it's
a joke, tongue-in-cheek joke.
Yeah.
But you wonder why that kind of question is even being thrown out there.
Yeah, that's right.
So this is not a now thing. This has been a thing that's gone on for a long time.
Yeah. So I remember one of the things that you've said to one of the ladies that we've dealt with is that this is not a male issue, this is not a female issue, this is a human issue, and it really is, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I think it all comes down to respecting one another.
Absolutely.
And ultimately, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So the next one I've got is they make you feel as if you can't live without them.
Yeah.
Anyway, there are a few other things on here. I think there are 6 red flags. So if you want to go and have a look at that, it's on my website.
And also on that link that we said before, so down below. So just in conclusion, with sort of like coercive control and like what that question was from that person, ultimately somebody that might be watching this video right now might be going, well, that sounds like me.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Yeah. Start talking to some of your friends. Start trying getting some people that can help you understand. Even if you can speak to your husband or your wife or your girlfriend or whoever it is that you're having issues with, just speak to them and ask them if they actually know they're doing that, because they might actually be genuinely caring for you and not realising they're actually controlling you. So you just got to remember that some of this is done actually pretty innocently,
Yeah.
and in the early stages you can definitely
try and nip it in the bud.
That's
Yeah.
right. You can definitely change those habits. It's very hard later on in a relationship.
And it's also, it's like, I guess it's a lot more difficult when people have had, difficult upbringings. So there might be like triggers that cause trauma in different areas and stuff like that. And I guess we can talk about that at another episode. So on triggers and what triggers people into things. So, and again,
I think another way of explaining control and how it can damage you is, you know, the little rhyme that used to say, "Sticks and stones will break your bones, but names will never hurt you." That is a complete
it's
load of
fallacy.
rubbish.
It is really.
Complete load of rubbish.
Yeah.
It's more like sticks and stones will break your bones, but names will break your heart.
Yeah, that's right.
And they really do. It's a deep wound, a controlling and
We all know
abusive.
from personal experience, don't we?
We do.
It's a difficult one. So, like, just moving forward, like, if anybody wants to make contact with us, they can. We'll put the contact details in the description box. You can reach us via attheark.org.au, and we'll, we're happy to help you and point you in any direction that we can, that we know of. We're based on the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia, but quite frankly, we can make contacts with anywhere in the world, can't we?
Yes, we can. Yeah, absolutely. The world is a much smaller place through social media nowadays, so you can contact us through any kind of.
And just very, very briefly, what's this book you're holding in your hand?
So this is my story. So I touched very briefly on my story this today, and if you would like to read more, then you can get my book on my website or at the Ark's website. But we'll have the links down below anyway, so you can actually find more about what we do and why we do it.
So, I hope this video has helped you and just giving you some sort of insights and just some different facets of what types of abuse there are, and what is coercive control and that sort of stuff. And maybe you might have a question. If you have, post it below, or send us an email or direct to us, and we may be able to. We're on Facebook. Look us up on Facebook on At The Ark, and Broken to Be Beautiful. And look, if there's a question there, I'm sure we can answer it. If not, we can find someone that can.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're happy to have other people come and join us to have conversations as well. So we're looking forward to doing that.
So if you've got any questions that you want answered, just post them, and we'll try and make an episode going towards that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Okay, well, we'll see you again next time.
See you.